we've accomplished quite a bit. I bet you're surprised that you had the energy to do so much.
Well, I think between you and taking some medicine to sort of get over, I can't believe what depression did to me.
Yep.
And I still guess I can't believe all the things I have to think about.
There is a lot, but think about what you've already accomplished. You went to the bank, got all of that straightened out.
Yeah, the will.
You went to the lawyer and did the will. What else?
Well, the living will.
The living will.
The healthcare power of attorney.
Absolutely.
And David's name is on all the bank accounts now.
Good.
And I really think they're helping tremendously to try and get the situation from Florida cleared. I could never have done that.
There is who?
The bank.
Oh, okay.
And the attorney that David found who
Okay.
helped me with the will.
Good. So that large burden, clearing up the mess in Florida and knowing that your finances are in order,
I think so, yeah.
have they told you whether or not you're going to have enough money for until you don't need it anymore? Until you die? Hard thing to think about, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Deep sigh. Mm-hmm. Did you have an opportunity to talk to David? Or did he go with you to the doctor?
Well, that did happen.
Okay.
He went with me to the doctor. We're still having a tremendous discussion.
On?
I've pretty much made up my mind that I don't want to be sick. I want to live until I die. Mm-hmm. And I know, the doctor talked about extending my life, and that's his job. I understand that. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to want me to do that. I guess my biggest fear is that you were going to try and talk me into something.
Why would you even think that?
Well, it seems like everybody else has been trying to talk me into taking all the treatment I can take. Mm-hmm. Live as long as you can. Mm-hmm. But
what
I'm not
do
sure.
You want?
Well, I really want to do some things with my grandchildren, and right now I'm feeling better than I have felt in several months.
Okay.
I'm still afraid.
You're afraid of?
I'm afraid of dying.
Okay.
And I'm afraid of being alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so much afraid anymore. You've gotten me to talk to David. And he has really been so wonderful.
Oh, I'm glad.
So I'm not afraid of that. I don't think I'm really afraid of actual death. I'm afraid of the journey it takes to get there.
That's what most people fear. They fear the pain, yeah. Pain and suffering.
But I want to use this time. I want the kids to get to know who I was. I'm just starting to feel like again. Sarah was a pretty neat gal.
Mm-hmm. I'll bet she was.
Yeah.
She's a pretty neat gal right now.
And what I want is I want my grandchildren to know how wonderful life is. Mm-hmm. That it's not just death. And so I don't want them to see me sick all the time.
Okay. It sounds like you've pretty much made a decision.
I think so. I think what I want to do is plan what can I do to let my children and my grandchildren know about me. Mm-hmm. Being in Florida for 10 years, 8 years, Sam was so sick. they don't know any of our life.
Your history.
Yeah, and I was trying to think of ways that I don't have time to write a book.
Have you heard about other ways of sharing personal history?
You know, the rabbi did come by.
Good.
I got a hold of him, and he said there was something at Temple that they were doing with videotapes and DVDs. And do you know anything about that?
Did he mean that they were videotaping members, older members of the congregation?
Well, they might be doing that, but it was something with, like, I started getting together pictures. I was thinking I'd make a big album, but it seems as though there's some way they can do it on a DVD thing. I really lost a whole lot of history. I'm not even sure I know how to turn a computer on without thinking I'm going to blow the world up. So I'm not too good at all of this, but they have someone who might be able to help me.
Excellent idea. Didn't you tell me that Jacob is pretty handy with electronics?
Well, yeah, he's the guru with the
Okay.
computer. Oh my, he can do
Would
everything.
that be something that Jacob could work with you on? Giving you an opportunity to share the stories that go with the pictures?
I never thought about that. I guess that would be something that would be fun.
Wouldn't that be fun to do with Jacob?
Gee, his birthday's coming up. I wonder, maybe I could, if I got him some kind of whatever he would need to do this
Like
with.
a video camera? That would be a really good way of doing this, I
And he
think.
could turn Bubba into a star. Oh, my.
You're too young to be Bubba.
Sam would never know me. He would never know me.
Why wouldn't he know you?
Here I go again.
At least you know that's still working, right?
Well, he would never know me because I regret so much. I think I was just so cross. It seems as though all I did was scream and yell, and I don't want to do that with Jacob. So if I give him this equipment, I'm going to have to let him use it. I can't tell him how to do it.
Do you think maybe your frustration and fatigue had something to do with the screaming and the yelling? And the fact that you were angry?
Yeah. Now I have to be honest and tell you I wasn't the saint everybody made me out to be.
Oh, I'm surprised. You're not a saint. Besides being Jewish, I don't think you have saints, but you mean you're human and you make mistakes?
Yeah, I think I made some along the way. And I really don't want to make any now, and this seems like there may not be enough time to make many.
Is that a good thing, maybe, in a way?
If I can figure out a way to do some things with the kids,
Okay.
if I can figure that out.
Well, we've accomplished quite a bit. I think the biggest decision is the medical decision, and then to go into coming up with some ideas of doing things with Jacob and Lily.
Well, I've put off the medical decision as long as I can. The doctor says if I'm going to do this, I have to start now. But
Okay. What did he tell you about the treatment?
They have pills they can give me for this and pills they can give me for that. But the most important thing is there's no way. I mean, you take a treatment and it's going to take 4 or 5 days where it saps your energy. And I don't want to give up those 4 or 5 days. So maybe I'd have 2 or 3 good months at the end. after I have this treatment, maybe it would extend my life 3 months, 6 months. But you know, Rochelle, I'd rather have 3 good months right now to do things with my grandchildren than be sick. I think I've made a decision.
It sounds to me like you've made the decision.
I think the next decision is whether or not I can take Lily to New York. You mentioned maybe there was someplace else.
Rather than trying to fly to New York and have an extended trip. When you think about being here, have you had the opportunity to take any trips in the area?
Oh, no.
So you didn't get any opportunity.
No.
Have you been following the newspaper? Things that are going on, the weekend paper?
Not too much.
Well, a client of mine who had a similar desire to take her grandchildren to a special place for special memories decided to go to Chicago. It's a 4-hour drive. You could fly, you could take the train, but you can drive. And I think in Chicago you would find all of the things that you were looking for. Theater, aquarium, art museum, lots of different kind of ethnic opportunities for food and to browse.
Well, I guess it gets so confusing because I'd like to take Jacob so he could go to the aquarium. And I'd like to take Lily so we could go to a play. But I don't know if I have the energy to do all of it at once. I don't think I can do it just by myself.
Okay, so who would you like to take with you?
Well, of course I'd like to take David and Ruth.
Does that sort of round out the group and solve the problem of not having enough energy to do this alone?
Yeah, that would solve that. That would solve that.
You don't sound like you're completely happy with the solution. So don't look like you're completely happy with the solution. What's bothering you?
Giving up the dreams.
That's very hard.
Giving up the dreams.
But it's not really giving them up. It's just tweaking them a little.
Well, I keep trying to tell myself getting to do it once is important. But I want more.
I know you do. But let's
I've
take it
waited
one
so
thing
long.
at a time. I know. And I know that this doesn't seem fair. And it's not. But it's the best that you can get.
I wish I'd get over being like a great big, I don't know.
A great big
like.
what?
I try to figure it out. You know, sometimes it's just like waves come and go. I get all enthusiastic, and then I get so sad to think that next year I might not even be here.
Maybe talking with the rabbi can help you come to terms with this from a spiritual place. I know some of the customs, and I know that there are customs that assure the continuity of memories from one generation to another.
Well, about the only good thing I could think of the last time the rabbi was here was that the kids are going to be stuck. They'll name one of them Sarah, and they'll have
one
to
of them
find
Sam.
Somebody will have to be Sam.
Two S's. But that's one way of
We won't go
assuring
there.
the continuity. But the memories that you're going to leave with the children are going to be very special. And so we need to use that bit of time.
Well, let's assume I'm going to go to Chicago. Because I guess we have to get on with it.
Right.
Give
We
up
do.
New York and get over it, right?
I think so.
So, I have to figure out how to get Jacob over here to work on that. And I have to figure out how to get... And I'm starting to feel like Sam. Would you make a list?
What do you want me to put on the list?
Jacob and the pictures.
Okay. Should we call it DVDs? Will you remember what that is? I'll put down pictures and DVDs.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You're
Lily?
getting to know how absent-minded I'm getting to be. Lily and Chicago, a
Okay.
play.
A play. Okay.
Do you think maybe David could go on the computer and find out what's going on in Chicago?
I think he probably can. Or Jacob can. You said he's a whiz at the computer.
Well, put that down.
Okay. Got it.
What else? I haven't done a lot of traveling in so many years. What else do I need?
Well, how do you want to travel there? Want to go by car? Would that be comfortable
Yeah,
for you?
probably.
Okay. So I think you need to talk to David. Don't you think?
Okay.
We'll put down car. He'll need to get maps, maybe. I don't know. Does he travel to Chicago?
Oh, I'm sure, yes.
Okay.
That's not...
What else will you need? Are you going to be staying overnight?
Oh, we'll have to stay overnight.
So we need some reservations, right? At a hotel. We need tickets.
I think if I talk to David, maybe I can get him to help with some of that.
Okay.
It's so hard for me to ask for help, you know that.
I know, but you're doing better. Do you think you're going to have the energy to walk a lot? Because in Chicago, there's a bit of walking. It's hard to park cars, so people walk.
You're suggesting...
What do you think? I mean, can you walk?
A little.
Okay. What would make it comfortable for you to be able to go through, let's say, the aquarium?
I could
Oh,
be,
you're smiling.
I could be queen for the day.
Yes, you
I could be
could.
that princess
Yes,
we've always talked about.
that's right.
I could get a wheelchair.
Yes, you could. Would you be okay with that? Providing we call it your throne.
Well, I have to have a crown, a tiara
Absolutely.
at least, at
We'll
the
get
minimum.
you one.
Oh,
We can get you one. But I think that would help.
Lily would like that.
She might even sit on your lap.
She would be the princess, trust me.
But I think a wheelchair makes a lot of sense for going through the museum. And I'll tell you a secret. If you're in a wheelchair, if there's a line any place, they'll let you go in the front of the line. So there's no waiting then. It's really
Really?
great. Yes, really.
You should have told me sooner. You can't keep the best to last, huh? Okay.
Well, there's always a positive with a negative. It's the challenge is to find it. Okay, here's your list. Anything else you want me to put on your list?
No, I think I've made my decision.
Okay.
I've made my decision.
So this is about whether or not you want further treatment for your cancer.
Yeah, I've made that.
Okay. So no chemo.
No chemo.
Okay. Have you told David and Ruth about your decision?
No, because I really just made it
Okay.
completely. I think they sort of suspect. I think David's a little upset with me, but
Okay. Can you understand why he's upset?
he just lost his father,
Mm-hmm. He did?
and he's only discovered his mother.
So this is going to be hard.
But I'd rather him know me as an in control. Well, he always knew I was a bossy person. Maybe that was part of the problem. I tried to tell him what to do.
Maybe.
Could be. Could be. But I'd rather he know me trying to live instead of fighting against dying. There's something
That's a
about
good way to
that.
put it.
I know people want to fight, and nobody really, I don't want to die. But for me, the little time that I have, I want to use well.
Okay.
And you are such a help.
Thank you. And you want to stay in control
Yeah.
as much as possible. So you're not going to do the chemo.
I'm not going to do the chemo.
So sometime this week you need to call the oncologist and let him know.
And sometime we need to talk about how I'm going to handle all the stuff around the house. I don't want to go to a nursing home.
Okay. That's
So
only
help
one
me.
option,
Help me.
Sarah. There are other options.
Well,
What kind of
Maybe the
help do you
next-
need, do you think?
I have to think about that.
Okay.
And
I'm going to put that down
For
on your
next
paper
time?
for your homework,
Okay.
okay? To think about what services you need, what help you need.
Yeah, and your homework's going to
My-
be to find
That's right.
how I can get them.
That's my job.
Okay.
That's my job.
That's a deal.
To think about what services you need. And I want you to think about something else. There is a place, a group called hospice. Have you ever heard of it when Sam was sick?
Yeah, but I had promised Sam I'd never put him in a nursing home, and so I didn't. And I had help that came in. An agency brought some help in, so I know that's available. And it seems as though there was a conversation perhaps about something that hospice could do, but before we got into it, Sam's heart just failed, and that was it.
Hospice is certainly an option, and I think an excellent one. It's either in your home, here, but one of the kids would have to agree to be your caregiver. They need to have someone here.
24 hours. Let's don't talk about that right now. I'd rather talk about Chicago.
Okay, okay. Do you want to leave hospice for next time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, we can do that. Okay, and here's your list. So you've got lots of things to do and lots to look forward to. Okay?
Thank you, Rochelle.
Bye, Sarah.